So friends, what does this system requirement analysis all about? In the stages of system development life cycle, system requirement analysis performs the stage 2. So in the system requirement analysis, what will happen here? Now there will be a detailed and thorough understanding of the current system, identify the areas that need to modify, and then design the solution accordingly. So in the preliminary investigation, we have just seen is the project feasible or not. Once we come to know that project is feasible, then we come to the requirement analysis. Then we analyze the system requirements by understanding the current system, identifying the areas which need modification, then solve the problem and determine what the user or management requires are by using several different development tools. Okay, so what are the objective of system requirement analysis? The first objective is that the first objective is to consult the owners and stakeholders and try to understand what is the issue they're going to face. What are the issues that they're facing and what solution they're trying to achieve. And then the second objective is to the first object is to understand the requirements of the stakeholders, the users and the owners. Second objective is to see that there is no conflict in the priorities in developing the system. Means if the requirements are many, we have to take care that the priority in developing the system for which it is being developed is not in conflict with the other requirements. And then the third objective is to gather the data by using several tools and methods like interviewing or using the documentation, etc. And then fourth one is to see that the requirements are complete. Means that it is not ambiguous, it is complete. It is the requirements are totally, we know what is the total requirement, they are verifiable and they are testable requirements. And the fifth objective is to prepare the models. Models means a diagrammatic representation using ER diagram or flowchart to show how the system will be developed. So this is the objective of system requirement analysis. To achieve this objective, what are the set of process that the system requirement analysis stage incurs? There incurs five different type of steps. They are fact finding, analysis of the present system, analysis of the proposed system, then system development tools, and then system specification and roles involved in SDLC. So these are the different set of process which are included in the system requirement analysis. Let us see one by one. First is fact finding. In the fact finding session, we will see that every system which is being developed has some requirement, or because of some need a system is being developed. So in order we will find that what is the need or problem that made this requirement to arise. So how does the fact finding session help? It will be used, just a minute. Yeah, fact finding session, in what will happen here, the system analyst will speak or talk to the user or the people who are working with the system, and then he will try to understand and get what the actual requirements are. How he will be using various tools like documentation, questionnaires, interview and observation. Documents means he will be going to the organization chart or process description booklet, which will show how the activities are being conducted in the organization or what is the organization hierarchy. Then questionnaire means he may develop a set of questions which he thinks which is required, which requires the answers from the people, so that he can develop the system. He will prepare a questionnaire and then distribute to the people, managers or to the users to fill them and give them back in a proper time frame. Depending upon the replies or depending upon the responses, he can analyze and come to a understanding. Then he may conduct interview with the managers or with the top level people or with the operational level people who are using the system to know what the problem is and what they actually want. And then observation means suppose if he gets an understanding and he prepares a prototype model. So you have seen the different type of system development methodology. One thing is prototyping. So prototyping, he may prepare one prototype and give it to the user for using. Then he will observe how the system is being working, what are the pros and cons of this prototype, and then accordingly he will develop. And guys, if you have not seen this methodology video, I request you to kindly go back to the previous videos where you can find the system development methodology videos. Okay, and then the second set of process in the system requirement analysis is the analysis of the present system. Without analyzing the present system, the system analyst can't make a better new system. See, analysis of the present system, you may think it may conflict with preliminary investigation, but in preliminary investigation we just take a rough idea of what the present system is all about. But in system requirement analysis, we may go into deep Okay, so how do we do this system analysis of the present system? We will do detailed investigation regarding the present system, how it is operating, how it is collecting the data, how it is organizing, and what requirement it is satisfying to the user. Then how do we study the system in depth? We will be studying by using different type of methodologies like reviewing the historical aspect, analyzing the input, reviewing data file, reviewing methods and procedure, reviewing data communication, analyzing the output, reviewing internal controls, modeling the existing system, and undertaking overall analysis of the existing system. Let us see them now. First thing in the analysis of present system is reviewing the historical aspect, means the history of the company, how the organization, how it has been started, how it has developed, what are the major milestones it achieved. This will give the idea of the which phase or which level the organization is currently in. Then analyzing of the inputs. Analyzing of the inputs plays a main role because the analyst must understand what type of data is being used or taken into by the present system. And let us take if a form has to be filled by a particular user. Let us say the production manager needs some inputs, needs some raw material, and he needs to give a request to the purchase department. So how the information is being flown. The next one comes analysis of the data file, means how the data is being stored, where it is stored, how common the data is being accessed, is there any common data being accessed by the users, or how the data is being classified, or what are the different time levels in which the data is being accessed, is there any backup for the data, or any matter related to data and the files must be seen by the analyst so that he can understand how the data is being stored. And then come reviewing methods and procedure and data communication. It means you can understand that a method or procedure means a sequence of steps in which a task is being accomplished. So while you understand the system, the analyst must understand the series of steps or sequence of steps in which the concerned operation is being completed and how it is being done. So analyzing the series of steps may make him get an overview idea of how the system is being working or how a particular task is being accomplished. Then analyzing the output. Once the system process the transaction gets the output, it must be carefully analyzed to know who needs that output, for whom it is been generated, why that output has come. This analysis will help him understand what kind of output is required from the system. And then review of internal controls. If without the specific understanding of the internal controls, it will be difficult for the analyst to design the system because he need to incorporate the control aspect in the new system, right? Then modeling the existing system. The analyst, after understanding entire existing system, he will prepare a flow chart or a ER diagram where the existing system is being shown in a diagrammatic manner, and then he can understand where the gap exists. Depending upon the gaps, he can then take appropriate steps to close this gap or make some further improvement. And then undertaking overall analysis of the existing system. Once all this investigation is done in the above manner, he can once again run the entire system to get an overview of the existing system. So analysis of the present system plays a crucial role in identifying the weak points, in identifying how the process is being flown, in identifying how the data is being stored, so that the new system can incorporate the new aspect and it won't have the demerits of the existing system. So let's now see the system analysis of the proposed system. Now we have seen fact finding and analysis of the present system. Now let us see analysis of the proposed system. So once the present system has been analyzed, now we will come to a meaningful position where we can now understand how the proposed system should be. So the analysis of the present system helps in understanding what the proposed system should be. So the proposed system specifications will be drafted, and this system must cover all the demerits or all the shortcomings of the present system. Now here we need to understand that the present system specification must be in conformity with the objective of the organization. Means it must be in sync. The information system what you're going to develop must be useful to meet the objectives of the organization, and that can be taken care of by seeing that the output which is generated is having greater emphasis on managerial report. Okay, then the input data is taken directly from the source document. Then data processing is done quickly and even online processing is available. Then methods and procedure will define the relationship between the input and output are clearly specified, and that specification is deemed to be appropriate, and work volumes are carefully considered for the present and future period, so that the system which is being developed can handle the work volume not only of the present level, but also if it expanded in the future, it can handle the the work peak load capacity also. So the proposed system must be covering all the shortfalls of the present system, and it must be developed in conformity with the uh, objectives of the organization. Then let us now see what are the different type of system development tools available and how the system development tools are being classified. So various tools are used in development of this system, like various tools and techniques are used for development of system. We'll see what are those tools and techniques are. But first question comes, why do we need these tools and techniques? Because these tools and techniques help us to analyze the system, right? Once we have the tools with us, we'll be seeing how the present system is working or how the present information system processing is being done, and then we'll get an clarity and idea of how the system is being process, how the system is being flown, how the information is being flown. We get a clear idea of, we get clarity of the process, and we can document it. And then the last thing is that depending upon the documentation and analyzing, we can suggest the new methods, or we can propose the new methods for developing the new system. These tools help us in achieving these three objectives. Okay, then the tools which are used are classified into four categories. They are classified into four. What are those four categories? Let us see now. Okay, the four categories are, first thing is system component and flows. System components and flows. Second thing is user interface. This is a classification. They are not the tools, these are classifications. Classification of the tool. First classification is system component and flow. Second is user interface. Third is data attributes and relationship. Data attributes and relationship. Then fourth one is detailed system process. Detailed system process. So the tools are classified into four categories. First thing is system component and flow. Second is user interface. Third is data attributes and relationship, and fourth is detailed system process. Okay, system component flows. So what category comes under this? The first thing that comes under this, you can take example of a flow chart. So this system component and flow shows how the data is being flown in the organization, how the data is being processed between the hardware and the media, and what will be the output. So flow chart is an example of system component and flow. Then user interface, how the system is, how the users are facing the system, means what will be the output, how the interface between them, like what the dialogue they'll be using between each other, is main critical part for development of any analyst. Therefore the user interface must be smooth for a good experience for the user. And then comes the data attributes and relationship. So this here you can take example of data dictionary, which will be having the description of each and every element and shows the relationship between among various elements. And then you can have even entity relationship diagram, which will show how the entity and how the different the components of the entity are being related. And then you can take another example of having the database structure itself, like which will be showing what all the different type of data being available and how it is being related to each other. Then comes the last thing, detailed system process. In this here, the analyst will have the detailed process description of developing the data. Here you can take the example of a decision tree, which will be showing a detailed structure of the complex logic of system being developed. So decision tree, decision table, and you can take structured charts. So these are the few examples which comes under this category, which will show the detailed development process of the system development. So the four different categories of tools are system component and flow, user interface, data attributes and relationship, and detailed system process. Now let us see what are the different kinds of tools available for the development of a system. So what are the different type of tools used for system development? The totally we have, first one comes under structured English. First tool is structured English. The second one is all time favorite for everyone, flowchart. Third one is data flow diagrams. Fourth one is decision tree. Okay, decision tree. Then fifth one is decision table. Sixth one we are having case tools. Then seventh one is system component matrix. System component matrix, and eighth one is data dictionary. So we are having total number of 8 tools. First is structured English, second is flowchart, third is data flow diagram, fourth is decision tree, fifth is decision table, sixth is case tool, seventh system component matrix, and eighth is data dictionary. And data dictionary, one of the components is user interface layout and forms. Okay, so let us see what are let us see one by one in a brief manner. So what is the structured English? The structured English, you can call it as a program design language because it uses the natural language and also the structured programming syntax also. So this will help us in developing a very you can say a useful language in which the programming logic helps to attain the precision of the perfectness of the work to be done by the system, and also the natural language helps us in easy flow of communication. Then what are the flowcharts? Flowchart is a pictorial representation that can be used by the analyst in understanding how this information or how the process flows in an organization. It will be shown in different kind of boxes and connected by help of arrows, and it will be helpful for the analyst to understand what are the flaws in the existing system. Then data flow diagram. Data flow diagram is somewhat related to the flow chart, but it is using even more very simple symbols to indicate the data flow in the organization. It uses 4 type of symbols. One thing is square, which shows data source and destination. Then arrow mark, which will show data flow. Then it will use oval, which will show transformation process, and then parallel lines, which will indicate data storage point. Then decision tree. Decision tree is useful generally for the complex decision where you need to see all the possible outcomes and then take a decision regarding depending upon the probability of achieving success in that decision. So decision tree is a kind of a tree like of chart which having several branches which showing the condition of possibility of happening or not happening of a particular event. This will help us in taking further better decisions. Then what about decision table? Decision table, which generally it is accompanied by a flowchart. It is a form of a table where you can find the requirements and the considerations, and this table has totally 4 parts. One thing is condition stub, action stub, conditional entry, action entry. What is conditional stub? Conditional stub is one which shows the list of comparisons and conditions. Action stub is the one which will be showing the actions depending upon the various type of condition stub. Then come conditional entries. So what are the conditional entries? They show possible permutations. So it will show the possible permutations of the answers to the questions present in the conditional stub. And what is action entries? It will show the possible answers or permutations of the answers to the conditional entries. And what are the depending upon the answers to the questions present in the condition entry, the action entry shows the possible set of options or possible solutions in that column. This is about the decision table. Then what are the case tools? Case tools, you can say it's a software package which will be helping the system developer or the programmer to draw and show how the present system is being developed. So it has inherent several tools inbuilt in them which will automate many traditional development process. So the system analyst or the system programmer with the help of computer assisted software engineering packages can show that the case tools can draw and show on the screen how the system is being developed and what is the process flow. Then comes system component matrix. System component matrix is a framework. Okay, it is a framework that will be showing what are the different kinds of resources being used and what are the different steps taken in development of system. This information matrix will show the required components used, the process flow, every in-depth information about the system development so that it can be used by the analyst as well as by the system designer in developing the system. Then the last one comes data dictionary. Data dictionary contains the descriptive information of all the data items that is present in the system. So each data item, where it is, how the data entered into system, where it is being saved, which file does the data entry is currently present, what is the program that modifies the data, who has been given the authority to access the data or who has been denied the access, everything will be contained in the data dictionary. In the data dictionary, one such form is user interface and layout. User interface and layout is very important because depending upon the layout and the form, the user can interact with the system. Therefore there are 4 types in this user interface layout. First thing is layout, form and screen generator. So what does this do? It will show the printed form. It will print and show how the screen or layout looks like. Then menu generator, it will show what are the functions that the system performs, and each menu, you can observe that once if you go to a particular column, menu bar will come down. So on each menu will have sub menu. So how does this will look? And so first thing is system layout form is screen generator, menu generator, and then comes uh, report generator and code generator. Report generator, it will be similar, it will be having similar functions as that of a screen generator, but it has certain additional functions like showing the count, showing page total, showing the controls inbuilt. It will be showing these additional features. And then comes the code generator. Code generator helps in developing modular codes as specified by system analyst, so that the better system development can be taken care of. So this will complete the system requirement analysis, the phase 2 of SDLC. So what does we have? The set of process of system requirement analysis have 5: fact finding, analysis of present system, analysis of proposed system, system development tools, and then system specification. Here there's one more part, what are the different roles involved in SDLC, means in system development life cycle, what are the different kind of people who will be interacting or who will be involved in the system development life cycle. Those people, there are several designations available. The designations of them are: first thing, there will be different team and committees and individuals for developing of the system. So there will be different designations and people like steering committee, project manager, project leader, system analyst, business analyst, team leader, developer, database administrator, then quality assurance, tester, and last, domain specialist and IS auditor. So these people play an important role in the system development life cycle. Now let us go into the third phase of system development life cycle, that is system design. One such important aspect in the system requirement analysis is the system requirement specification. This SRS, system requirement specification, comes in the end of the system requirement analysis part. Here what will happen after doing all the analysis of the present system and the requirement for the proposed system, now the analyst will submit a document. What will submit? He will submit a document SRS to the user. This document will show the analyst's understanding of the present system and the requirements which he understood for the proposed system. This, you can say, a form of contract which will be showing his understanding of the system. Depending upon if this properly documented and if his understanding is correct, only the user must go for the system development. So what are the contents of the system requirement specification report? It will be having an introduction, like what is the organization, what is the system, what is going to do, and then what is the environment in which it is dealing, then what is the requirement for the new system, etc. It has introduction, it has then information description. It has information description, introduction, information description, functional description, okay, then behavioral description, validation criteria, appendices, and SRS review. So information description means it will show the information context, flow and structure of the information, how the information is being saved and how it is being flowed. Functional description shows how the organization functions are being performed, what is the flow process, what are the controls available. Behavioral description shows how the system is being responding to the external facts. Then validation criteria shows what are the tests performed for knowing the system what are the tests performed on the systems and how it is being responded. Appendices include several charts, table, details, etc. for the user to understand. Then the SRS review is the last final stage where the document is being submitted so that the user can review it and then provide approval and sign off for development of the new system. Now since the user gives an approval after seeing the review document and is satisfied that the requirements are being correctly understood by the analyst, he will give a go signal, a green signal for the analyst to start the system, and then the system analyst will start designing the system. Now let us proceed to the system design, the third level of system development life cycle, that is system designing.